until your father gets, wait till your father gets home. See what I mean? Wait.
Remember that cartoon family that looked suspiciously like All in the Family, but animated? Wait Till Your Father Gets Home wasn't just Hanna-Barbera's first primetime sitcom.
And it would be nice if you reached it before you were ready for Social Security.
It was a desperate attempt to prove cartoons could tackle Vietnam, women's lib, and generation gaps for adult audiences. Today, we're counting down 20 shocking facts about the animated family that tried to be edgy and got canceled for being too safe. It was created to cash in on All in the Family. Hanna-Barbera created Wait Till Your Father Gets Home.
So bad and he seldom gets mad.
And we aren't about to desert him.
As direct animated response to All in the Family's massive success. Norman Lear's groundbreaking sitcom proved audiences craved socially relevant comedy addressing contemporary issues. The Boyle family mirrored the Bunkers almost exactly.
You gotta understand, Pop. I don't want a job that's just work. All right, I'll talk to the bank.
Harry Boyle was Archie Bunker, his hippie son Chet was Mike, and conflicts centered on politics, generational differences, and changing social values. TV critics immediately called it an All in the Family ripoff.
You don't want them to say Harry's wife has nothing to wear.
Because the concept was transparently derivative. Tom Bosley voiced the lead character. Harry Boyle was voiced by Tom Bosley,
It's not midnight and you're home. Somebody steal your motorcycle?
who would become famous 5 years later as the beloved father on Happy Days.
Come on, William. Marion's related to other people in this family.
Recording the show while simultaneously performing in Broadway productions, Bosley brought theatrical training to voice acting that elevated material beyond typical cartoon performance. His Harry Boyle was genuinely frustrated and confused, rather than cartoonishly angry. Bosley later admitted he took the voice acting job purely for money during a slow theatrical period and never watched the completed show. The show aired against the Waltons and got destroyed. NBC scheduled Wait Till Your Father Gets Home on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. directly against CBS's The Waltons, one of television's highest-rated family dramas.
My fuel pump.
Now, Pop.
Because, I might add, I'm driving an 8-year-old clunker so we can make...
This was programming suicide. The wholesome Walton family attracted the exact demographic that might have watched an animated sitcom. The show averaged only 15% audience share compared to the Waltons' 35% share. Industry analysts called the scheduling decision inexplicably stupid, since the show had zero chance competing in that time slot. It was television's first animated primetime sitcom since The Flintstones. Wait Till Your Father Gets Home was the first animated series specifically created for primetime adult audiences since The Flintstones ended in 1966.
Mr. Flintstone?
Yo! Watch it, Doc! What are you trying to do? Put me in the hospital?
This 6-year gap represented the animation industry's consensus that primetime cartoons were commercially unviable. The show featured contemporary issues: Vietnam War protests, marijuana use, women's liberation, racial integration, and sexual revolution. This adult-oriented content was revolutionary for animation.
Oh, hi there, Tiger.
But made sponsors nervous, and many advertisers refused to buy commercial time. The animation budget was criminally low. Each 22-minute episode cost approximately $35,000 to produce, less than half the budget of typical live-action sitcoms. This extreme cost-cutting forced laughably limited animation. Characters barely moved, mouth movements didn't sync properly with dialogue, and backgrounds were reused constantly. Entire conversations featured static characters with only mouths animated. The cheap animation undermined the show's attempt at sophisticated adult comedy. Audiences struggled to take social commentary seriously when delivered through crude animation that looked cheaper than Saturday morning children's cartoons. The show featured real 1970s political debates. Episodes tackled genuine controversial topics: draft dodging, busing for school integration, the Equal Rights Amendment, marijuana legalization, and environmentalism. Writers attempted balanced perspectives. Harry represented conservative viewpoints, while his children argued liberal positions, with neither side portrayed as completely right or wrong.
How come you're awake, Harry? Can't be a problem. Me and the vigilantes just finished patrolling the neighborhood.
This ideological even-handedness frustrated both conservative and liberal viewers who wanted their perspectives validated. Audiences hated ambiguous conclusions, expecting sitcoms to provide moral clarity and comfortable resolutions rather than uncomfortable questions. The daughter character kept changing personalities. Alice Boyle, the teenage daughter, had wildly inconsistent characterization across episodes because different writers couldn't agree on her personality.
Absolutely not. I agreed to go, and I'll go, but this is what I'll be wearing.
Some episodes portrayed her as boy-crazy and vapid, others as politically engaged and feminist, still others as athletic and tomboyish. Voice actress Tina Holland recorded contradictory character motivations and never understood who Alice actually was. This inconsistency resulted from no series Bible or character documentation. Writers made up personalities episode by episode without coordination. NBC demanded the show be less controversial. After the first season, NBC executives insisted future episodes tone down political content and controversial subject matter. They specifically banned episodes about abortion, homosexuality, and religious differences, topics all in the family tackled successfully. The network wanted safe controversy, shows that appeared edgy without actually risking advertiser alienation. The second season featured noticeably blander content focused on generic family sitcom plots. The compromise satisfied nobody. The show lost its distinctive voice without gaining broader appeal. The neighbor character was completely pointless. Ralph Kane, the liberal neighbor, existed solely to argue with conservative Harry, providing exposition and ideological counterpoint.
Got my pistol class. Siberia. Wow.
Beyond this mechanical function, he had no personality, backstory, or character development. Voice actor Jack Burns performed Ralph as a walking political opinion generator rather than an actual person. Ralph's appearances decreased dramatically in the second season as writers struggled to justify his existence. He essentially disappeared from the show without explanation or acknowledgement. The dog never did anything. Julius, the family dog, appeared in nearly every episode, but served absolutely no narrative function. He didn't talk, didn't have personality, and rarely interacted meaningfully with other characters. His presence was purely visual. Animators added him to backgrounds to fill empty space. The dog was a legacy of early character designs when creators thought every sitcom family needed a pet. Julius represents the show's creative bankruptcy, including elements purely from convention, without narrative purpose. Episodes were written in 3 days. Individual episode scripts were written in approximately 3 days from assignment to final draft, an impossibly compressed timeline that guaranteed poor quality. Writers received story premises Monday, delivered first drafts Wednesday, incorporated notes Thursday, and submitted final scripts Friday. This breakneck pace meant no time for character development, joke refinement, or thematic coherence. The rushed writing showed in finished episodes. Jokes fell flat, character motivations made no sense, and conflicts resolved abruptly without proper setup. Voice recording happened before animation was planned. Unlike modern animation, where voice recording follows completed storyboards, the show recorded all dialogue before any animation planning began. Actors performed scripts in empty recording booths without knowing what visual action would accompany their lines. This backwards process meant animation had to be created to match pre-recorded dialogue. The result was constant mismatch between vocal performance and visual action. Characters sounded excited while standing motionless, or calm while supposedly running. The theme song changed 3 times. The show had 3 completely different opening theme songs across its 2-season run. The original theme was jazzy and upbeat.
I love my mom and dad and my brother.
The second season premiere featured a folk rock arrangement.
And we aren't about to desert him.
and mid-second season switched to a generic orchestral theme.
Slightest little thing goes wrong. Mom starts to sing this.
These changes weren't creative evolution. They were desperate attempts to rebrand a failing show. Network executives believed the wrong theme song was preventing audience connection. The constant theme changes confused viewers and prevented the show from establishing iconic musical identity. Sponsors pulled out mid-season. Major advertisers, including Chevrolet and Coca-Cola, withdrew sponsorship during the first season after receiving complaint letters about controversial content. Episode 12's discussion of marijuana sparked particular outrage from conservative parent groups who organized letter-writing campaigns threatening product boycotts. The sponsor exodus created a financial crisis. NBC had to slash production budgets and fill commercial time with public service announcements. The reduced advertising revenue made the show financially unsustainable regardless of ratings. The show was syndicated before being canceled. In an unusual move, Wait Till Your Father Gets Home entered syndication while still producing new episodes for NBC primetime. Local stations aired first-season reruns in afternoon time slots, while second-season episodes premiered in primetime. This created bizarre situations where viewers saw episodes out of order or watched the same episodes multiple times in the same week. The premature syndication was driven by Hanna-Barbera desperately trying to recoup production costs from a show already obviously failing. Critics called it the worst of both worlds. Television critics universally panned the show for being simultaneously too adult for children and too juvenile for adults. Animation quality was too crude for adult viewers expecting sophisticated visuals, while subject matter was too serious and politically complex for children. Time magazine called it a show with no audience, too boring for kids, too poorly made for adults, too safe for anyone wanting actual controversy. This identity crisis doomed the show commercially. Foreign distribution was a complete failure. International broadcasters almost universally rejected the show because the specifically American political and cultural references made no sense to foreign audiences. Topics like Vietnam, draft dodging, American racial integration debates, and U.S. women's liberation movement had limited relevance in Europe, Asia, or Latin America. The few countries that aired it heavily edited content, removing political discussions and leaving generic family sitcom plots that made little narrative sense. The final episode wasn't intended as a finale. The show was canceled without warning. NBC simply stopped ordering new episodes, and the last one produced happened to become the series finale by default. No proper conclusion was written, no storylines were resolved, and the final episode ended on a completely ordinary note with no acknowledgement of the series ending. Tom Bosley later said he discovered the show was over when his agent called, asking why residual checks had stopped arriving. It killed Hanna-Barbera's primetime animation ambitions. The show's spectacular failure convinced Hanna-Barbera to abandon primetime animation for adults and return exclusively to children's Saturday morning programming for nearly 2 decades afterward. Industry-wide, the failure reinforced the belief that primetime animation was unviable, delaying serious adult-targeted animation until The Simpsons premiered in 1989, 15 years later. The show's catastrophic reception convinced an entire generation of network executives that animated sitcoms for adults simply couldn't work commercially. It proved animation couldn't just copy live-action success. The show demonstrated that successful live-action formats don't automatically translate to animation. It copied All in the Family's premise, structure, and controversial subject matter, but completely missed what made that show work. Brilliant writing, exceptional performances, and emotional authenticity. Animation added nothing to the formula. It only subtracted production value through crude visuals and limited character expressiveness. The failure taught the animation industry that cartoons needed to leverage animation's unique strengths rather than simply replicating live action. So there you have it. 20 wild facts proving Wait Till Your Father Gets Home wasn't just a forgotten cartoon. It was a catastrophic miscalculation that demonstrated you can't simply animate All in the Family and expect success, no matter how relevant your topics are. The wildest part? A show created specifically to prove animation could tackle adult issues, instead proved animation needed completely different strategies to succeed in primetime. Now wait till you get to your next video. And remember, sometimes being first to try something just means being first to fail spectacularly while teaching everyone else what not to do.